Hello everybody, welcome back to the Forest Job. Today's game is going to be taking place against Watford. It's a home match at the City Ground, and you come back to me with Nottingham Forest still in 5th position. 2 points now off of the Premier League leaders. I hate to say it, Tottenham Hotspur. We have won as many games as we have drawn, and if you look at the 4 column, it's not looking as good as some others. That being said, if you look at the against column, we are doing extremely well. We are yet to concede a goal this season. And if you don't concede goals, you don't lose football matches. So apart from the goal against Midtjylland and another goal against Roma, we are yet to concede this season in all competitions. That's a lovely little stat for you to take away to the bank. We have highlights of a couple of games to bring you before we get into today's action. We'll hand you over to those highlights right now. So with the highlights of those 2 games out of the way, and the less said about that first game, the better. Literally one highlight. What on earth? We were not at it that day. We can move on to more pressing matters, that being a home game against Watford. Let's go ahead and forward the date. I've done it again. I've managed to start recording on a day that isn't actually a match day. Right, there we go. We are now on match day, so let's go to next match and have a look at the match day team and the match day squad. And well, things are looking pretty okay, with the exception of centre-back, where Salisu and Worrell are both struggling for form, as well as a little bit of stamina. So I think we're going to go all change at the back, with Hugma and Worrell both coming out in the place. Sorry, both coming in the place of... I've completely mucked that one up. Shall I start again? I'm going to start again. Am I going to edit this out? Hell no. You get the full fat experience here on Dave Plays. We're going to be taking out Worrell and Salisu, and in their place come Hugma, the left-footed defender, and Albiol, who we still should really replace because he is a regen, but he's a very good player, and I don't really want to. As for right back, Zayfuck, I think, is going to have to persist in the role, although Sailmakers can play there. We're going to play it a little bit fast and loose here. Sailmakers comes onto the bench in the place of Frimpong, who is not in the best of form, and Sailmakers does need some game time, so he can come on at right back if needed later on in the game. And as for centre-back, oh dear, it's looking a little bit threadbare all of a sudden, isn't it? I tell you what, let's throw Teixeira on the bench in the place of Worrell, and we're just going to have to trust our centre-backs not to get injured or sent off. Adam Hloshek on the left-hand side, not looking in the best form either, so Callum Hudson-Odoi coming into the team for him. And that is going to be the extent of the changes that I make today. Arcas looking in imperious form. Hopefully we can get a tune out of him today as we click on kickoff and we move post-haste into the game itself. Well, I hope everyone's had a lovely Tuesday. I have completely lost track of the games that have been played today, but I'm fairly certain that there is going to be an England match at 8 p.m. this evening. Fingers crossed we can do a better job than we did against Scotland. I had the feeling that Scotland, we just really did not want to lose, and that ended up being a little bit of a problem for us. Against teams like the Czech Republic and Croatia, I think it's less of an issue, and maybe that's why we were able to get ourselves a goal in the Croatia match. Hopefully the Czech Republic match, even with my boy Adam Hlošek on the bench, hopefully we can get a result against them as we kick off, and Camavinga very quickly gets his first touch of the ball, moves it out to Ait-Nouri, and it looks as though Forrest is just going to pass it around the back for a second here just to get the feeling for the pace of the game and of the pitch. Zifuk moves it into the centre for Camavinga. You can see Watford playing very, very deep, every man behind the ball. Ait-Nouri brings it inside, but he gets headed off, so Camavinga now has it. Busquets through ball, so looking for Zifuk, and it's not a bad ball, and he does intercept the ball as it's cleared, but it goes behind for a goal kick, which will be taken by Chevalier. What a name that is. I think is French for knight, if I remember my French correctly. Right, and well, Watford have managed to intercept that ball, and now Tom Cleverley looks to feed one up the pitch towards João Pedro. Camavinga, unlike him, to lose the ball, but we managed to get... Have we given away a free kick here? How is that? Let's watch the replay. So Camavinga goes to the ground, and he is adjudged to have fouled the other player. Okay, I don't quite understand that one, I'll be honest. Let's just hope that we can defend this free kick, which João Pedro will take. The wall does its job, just about. Takes a smidgen of pace off the ball, and Newell is able to clasp it in his hands, and now we can come away with it. And hopefully, oh dear, they've intercepted again. Watford are, just like Leicester, a pretty decent defensive side, and we could struggle to make chances here today. I'm just going to forewarn everybody right now as Busquets just jogs forward with the ball, plays it out left to Camavinga. Camavinga plays it up towards Odoi, but again the ball is really loose, and Camavinga immediately seems as though he's just playing really, really badly, even by his imperious standards. One pass off target to that extent makes me think that something's going on with him. Odoi is bypassed. Hugma wins the header. Maybe all of the changes that we made have had an effect on team stability. Oh my God, Miramon now has won the ball. We are not playing well at all here. I apologise, ladies and gentlemen. It looks as though I have made too many changes and it's destabilised the team. Sima. Wilson wins the ball. Zifuk comes away with it. Wilson's keeping stride with him here. We've just about managed to keep hold of possession, which is very unlike us given how the game has gone so far. Early ball into the box, and Hernandez looks to get onto it, but he's held back by the defenders, and Chevalier has a very easy job of picking that one up. And now it's played out. Albiol, last man back, wins the header. Camavinga out to Wilson, who very nearly loses the ball again. The passing from Forrest is very, very bad. by our standards especially. Now, Wilson's making a run. We'll find him. Looks to put the ball in first time. Takes a deflection. It will go behind for a corner. 27 minutes gone in this game. Forest yet to trouble the goalkeeper. Hudson-Odoi will pick this one up on the edge of the area on the right-hand side. Crosses one in. Arcas underneath. Looks to get the header on. Can't do it. And Wilson loses out on the ball. Seema ends up with it at his feet. And fortunately for us, the midfield is able to win that ball and recycle it. And we can try again down this left-hand side with Ait-Nouri. Out towards Hudson-Odoi. Plays it inside to Camavinga. Ah, no, Hernandez wasn't expecting it, neither was I, and as a result, we lose the ball far too easily. Now, it's spread out left to Seema again. Busquets struggling to keep up with him pace-wise. Early ball in, Nubel manages to catch it, and we very nearly give it straight away. Here's Harry Wilson. Out as a fuck, who will look to get the cross in here. Near post. Hudson-Odoi gets the shot on. It's just wide of the post. But again, it's just not clicking for this Forest side. Something must happen. And it must happen soon, I fear. Right, here's Busquets. Out to Wilson, who plays it back towards Zefuck. Wilson making the run down the right-hand side, and the ball finds him. Zefuck, it just hits his heels, and all of the momentum goes out of the move. So Harry Wilson brings it inside. Here's Busquets, Hudson-Odoi, Ait-Nouri. Ball in, Arcas underneath it, headed away. And Watford are able to get it out for a throw-in on this right-hand side of the Nottingham Forest attack. Zefuck very quickly bringing the ball back into play. Wilson with the cross. Hernandez underneath, header! Oh, he's put it wide! Oh, my goodness me. That is a great chance for a striker of Hernandez's quality, especially in the air. He's a very good header of the ball. Not that you would know it from that particular effort. And that is probably going to be the last real action of this half, as Albiol looks to win the header and does. It falls to Kiko Firmino. Miramon down the line. Kugma looking to win the header. Just about managing to. And there is the half-time whistle. Been a boring first half here at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest will have to do a lot better in the second half if they want anything out of this game. Not a single shot on target for them. And honestly, that 64% possession number seems very high given how poorly it feels like we've played. Now, what can we do in the second half to change things up? Hudson-Odoi doesn't feel like he's done particularly well in this half, and I'm very tempted to throw Bellingham on the left-hand side. Give us a little bit more defensive strength, make us a little bit more toothy in the middle of the pitch, and it would mean a sacrifice of a little bit of speed. I think we'll hold off of making that change just yet. We'll push Hernandez just slightly further forward, and that will be the only change that we make. I want to give them 5 or 10 minutes in the second half just to see if we can get an early breakthrough. You never know. Stranger things have happened as Hugma wins the aerial battle. Ait-Nouri is not going to keep this in, and it's going to be a corner kick straight away to Watford. And if they score this, we are in trouble because we do not look like making chances at the other end. Well, it's a good clearance. Camavinga looking to win the ball from Hughes. It dribbles through to Nubel. Now Ait-Nouri gets it back underway. Here's Hudson-Odoi. Inside to Ait-Nouri. Inside to Camavinga. Straight up the middle of the pitch to Hernandez. He turns his man, takes a shot. It's a good save. Used his strength just to hold the man off and try to make that chance for himself. He succeeded. Early one in, Hernandez underneath it. It's going to fall to Wilson. Heads it back into the box. They might keep this one in. He watches it go out and will throw it back in. Busquets to Camavinga. Hudson-Odoi outside to Ait-Nouri. Just dinks it in. Hudson-Odoi again. Oriol Busquets. Say fuck. Ball in. Arcas takes a hit. Busquets. Oh, it's a massive mix-up in the Watford defence. And Oriol Busquets, who didn't run back when perhaps he should have, has plundered himself a goal here in the 59th minute. It's Nottingham Forest 1, Watford 0, and they barely deserve it. In fact, I'll go one better. They don't deserve it, but I'll take it anyway. Could even have tried to feed through Hernandez, but he wanted it for himself. And I don't know what happened to the goalkeeper here. We'll watch the replay to try and see. I think he's is he unsighted? No, he's not even unsighted. Busquets just able to squeeze it past him before he can react. And there we are, 1-0, and that should open this game up tremendously now. Sima, long ball forward, Hugma underneath it, doesn't get to the header first. It's played back to Nubel, who just rolls it out towards Hugma. Now Ait-Nouri. Lovely ball into the middle for Busquets. Back to Camavinga. Now Wilson. Say fuck. Wilson again. Camavinga. Hudson-Odoi. Arcas. Oh, very nearly. That's a strange header, which has ended up in the possession of the black and yellow shirts. Long ball forward. Hugma looking to win this header. Just about manages to do so. But the second ball falls to a Watford shirt, and here they come. And they've got the overlap on this left-hand side with Sima. Puts it into the middle. Hugma deals. Hudson-Odoi loses the ball. Can't afford to do that. And fortunately for us, the centre forward puts it massively wide. At this point, I think we will make a change, as it sounds as though they have as well. Yeah, Troy Deeney. Oh dear, Troy Deeney. He is a player that is not fun to play against. We're going to take Hudson-Odoi off. We are going to put Bellingham on the left-hand side. And I'm thinking about the possibility of two strikers up front now to compensate for the slight lack of attacking impetus on the wings. It might be worth doing, but not quite yet. I think we'll go another couple of minutes before we make that change, and Eddie Nketiah will make his way onto the pitch. But for now, Jude Bellingham comes on for Callum Hudson-Odoi in what could be described as a defensive move. Here's Camavinga. Bellingham now. Cross into the box, Hernandez near post. So fuck, trying to run to get to this first. Sima gets there instead. The reactions of the players, the player switching. I ended up running a player the wrong way. Albiol doesn't win the first header, but wins the second one. Here's Busquets into Camavinga. Bellingham makes a beautiful run, and he's away here. Through to Arcas, it's 2-0. Simplicity itself, the counter-attacking goal, and it was made by the substitute Jude Bellingham. Lovely pass from Camavinga to split the midfield. The overload complete. Arcas just had to make his move. Bellingham found him with a simple through ball. And the finish, well, for Arcas, it wasn't much at all. Just rolled it past the goalkeeper, low and into the corner of the net. And that is 2-0, and that is probably the moment where we will look to make that change. Arcas has got his goal, and so he will come off and will put a striker on in his place, and it will be Eddie Nketiah. Hernandez will be dropped slightly further back again, and Nketiah will be pushed slightly further forward. And we have one more change to make, and I think it's going to be a sensible one. Sailmakers will come on for Zefuk at right back, and we have a decision to make as captain. I think Oriol Busquets. I know that Sailmakers probably makes more sense. Actually, no, it doesn't really. We're going to go with Busquets. I like Busquets. He's been in the team a long time. He deserves to hold the captain's armband. So there we go. The final two changes made by Nottingham Forest. 2-0 here with 12 minutes left to play. Surely even Troy Deeney can't shithouse his way into scoring 2 goals for his team in this last 12 minutes. Well, maybe I've spoken too soon. Ball into the middle, Sailmakers underneath it, manages to head it away, gets as far as Eddie Nketiah, but Eddie doesn't get a touch on it, and it's come off the bottom of the post. And I have spoken far, far too early here. I thought Nketiah was going to get a touch on the ball, but for some reason just didn't react in time. It was picked up instead by the Watford player, who fed it through to the striker, and João Pedro could not apply the finish, fortunately for us. I was going to stick one right up the middle, see what they do about it. So Hernandez tries to win the header. Wilson will get there ahead of him. Hernandez into Nketiah. Oh, for a second there I thought Nketiah was going to split the difference. He didn't quite manage it. Now Bellingham does what he's there to do, wins the ball. And again, he's away. Another brilliant ball through to him by Camavinga. Very nearly feeding in Nketiah. Sailmakers to Busquets. Inside to Camavinga. Oh, not a good pass from Camavinga for once. Hugma. Oh, Camavinga's been dispossessed far too easily in the middle of the pitch. Everybody comes back to defend. What I like about this team is that the clean sheet is just as important as scoring a goal to them. Sidon's past Nketiah, who's not really a defender but tries his best. Wilson now chasing. Nketiah in the right back position, looking to defend the ball now. Nubel will restart things. Busquets with a back heel out. Wilson forward to Nketiah. And there's the full-time whistle. It was a poor game, but we somehow managed to get the result that we needed. It's a 2-0 victory for Nottingham Forest. 3 points will be staying at the City Ground, thanks to Oriol Busquets and Kike Arcas. Well, we really weren't at it in that first half at all. The second half looks much, much better from a stats point of view, but we did concede more possession in that second half. Yang Weijian's side will feel very unlucky not to come away with something from this game. Do I really care? Do I hell? Arcas with the man of the match performance. I think that's fair. That's a fair reflection on his performance and contribution today. Bellingham coming off the bench to get himself a 7. Sailmakers and Nketiah not really having the time to make an impression. So here's the rest of the results from matchday 9 of the Premier League. You can see all of the results below there. City doing very, very well against Aston Villa. And let's have a look for any other shock results. There aren't any really. I don't know, Bournemouth 1, Chelsea 1. It's the closest to a shock result that I can think of. Tottenham drew with Fulham, which means that they will have dropped off the top of the table and we will overtake them as there was only a 2-point gap. Speaking of the table, let's have a quick look at that. And you can see Arsenal. That will sting for Tottenham fans. Arsenal have replaced Tottenham at the top of the table. Liverpool equal on points, but slightly behind on goal difference, take up second spot. Tottenham slipped to third, with Nottingham Forest rising to fourth place. it is still very early on in the season, and Tottenham Hotspur are the only other team not to have been beaten as of yet. And so we get to the part of the episode where I thank you for watching and also tell you what we're going to be doing next time. And I think it's fairly obvious. We'll be coming back for the game against Roma, which you can see is the very next game. No highlights in the next episode then. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Come on, England. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.